Hi, everyone. This is Suzanne Plaisance. I'm the Senior Director for the Undergraduate Reunions Program. I've been with the program for a little over 3 years, and I work with the 25th Reunion. Thanks so much for joining us with this training today. As many of you know, the Reunion program in this iteration began in 2013 with the 3s and 8s classes. The program has had a great impact on volunteer engagement and fundraising efforts for the university. Thanks to volunteers like you, since 2013, almost 2,000 alumni have engaged as reunion volunteers. This includes alumni for whom serving on their reunion committee was their first point of engagement with the university, all the way to the chair of the board of Tulane. In 2018, we had 410 volunteers compared to 206 in 2013. 6,200 alumni have come back to campus to celebrate their reunion, which is a direct translation to how many volunteers are getting involved. In 2018, we had 1,150 reunion celebrants on campus compared to 675 in 2013. Additionally, thanks to volunteers like you, almost 9,200 donors have contributed to the university. We've raised over $16 million in unrestricted support for students and faculty, which is that crucial current use support that the president, deans, and unit directors can access immediately for students and faculty. In 2018, we raised over $3 million in unrestricted support for the university. Breaking the $3 million threshold was a real milestone for the program. And total giving has been over $88 million from reunion celebrants since the program began. As you can see from these numbers, the reunion program and our volunteers are making a great impact on the university in every way, from alumni volunteers to attendance at reunion weekend, and through both unrestricted and restricted support to our alma mater. Our hope is that this training session will provide some more resources to you as volunteers to help you encourage your friends to attend and to give back in honor of reunion. We are excited to see what this cycle will bring. I'd like to read a quote from Theron Foley, class of 1983 and a 2018 reunion volunteer, about his experience with reunion. He says, "Thank you for an incredible reunion and homecoming weekend. I realize how many folks have been impacted by their experiences at Tulane. This year was my 35th reunion, and I enjoyed every part of it. From the reunion leadership reception at President Fitz's house, to the class of 83 party, to the tailgate and homecoming game. The campus felt like home again. There are many new buildings and lots of improvements evident. It was good, really great, to experience the new stadium only steps away from the campus. Most exciting was seeing the current students experiencing the warmth of love of the campus that created fond memories for me. A big thank you to all that worked so hard to make this reunion weekend a success. I'll be back for number 40. We hope you'll have a similar experience to Theron." Thanks so much.
This is Nicole Weiner. I'm a senior class officer. I've been with the Reunions program for about 3.5 years. I graduated from Tulane in 2006, and I work with the 50th Reunion and Student Philanthropy. I'm going to go through your reunion year, quarter by quarter, outlining expectations and responsibilities. So quarter 1, January, February, and March. Our theme is Welcome and Onboarding. This is the quarter when we hope that you would join the Facebook group. We start the pages, but we encourage you to join and ask all of your friends to join, and to also add content. We'll, of course, put in important dates and information that you should be aware of, but it's a lot more fun when you throw photos on there and comment on the photos that your friends put up so that you get a bit of a community going. If you haven't already, sign your name recognition and confidentiality agreement. This is your chance to choose how you'd like to be recognized on reunion-related materials. If you have a nickname that you used in college, you can use it for the reunion without changing how Tulane addresses you on all mailings and at future events. The confidentiality piece is just acknowledging that any information we share with you, emails, phone numbers, etc., should be used for reunion-related purposes only, and not for any other types of lists that you may have. Classmate outreach. Depending on which class you're working with, your class officer will either use a more manual method of identifying classmates with Excel spreadsheets, or they'll use our volunteer network fundraising portal, which is a little bit more digital. The screening lists can vary. You could get a screening list for your sorority or your major or the entire class if you wanted, or if you've lived in a city for a long time, maybe you want to contact all the folks in Dallas or in Chicago or something like that. And you can get more than one. If you have a few different groups or clubs that you're a part of, you could get screening lists for multiple and then work with your class officer on how many people from those lists that you'd like to contact. With the Volunteer Network Fundraising portal, you would log in and kind of tag 10 or so friends to your dashboard, and then you would be able to see their contact information on the portal. Also, this is the quarter when the date is announced for homecoming. So that's a great opportunity if you haven't started outreach yet to kind of kick off your outreach with that save the date memo to your classmates. Now that the date has been announced, you also can book your hotel. Instead of blocking off rooms at one or two big hotels, we have a portal website for travel with discounts for Tulane alumni at about 2 or 3 dozen properties across the city. So you can choose with your friends where you'd like to stay and get a slight discount. But the sooner you book your hotel, the better, since this is going to be a busy weekend. Reunion program's been going, as Suzanne mentioned, for about 5 years now, so it's not always on everyone's radar that this is the year of the reunion. So save the date, this many months out, is a good place to start. That wraps up quarter one. We'll move into quarter two, which is April, May, and June. Here we're continuing to build up the Facebook group, continue posting. April, May, and June is a fun quarter with all the festivals that go on in New Orleans. If you've got photos from French Quarter Fest, photos from Jazz Fest, from your commencement, definitely put those photos in. The more user content is on there, the more fun they are and the more active. Start to think about class-specific events. If you want to do something when you get down here with your classmates, a happy hour or something like that, think about what you might want to do or where you might want that to be. Participate in your conference call. We recognize, of course, that this is a volunteer committee and everyone is not going to be available at the same time, but we do our best to schedule a conference call around your schedules. And of course, your class officer will send out a summary afterward for anyone who might not have been able to dial in. It is fun, though, to be on the conference call because it's the best opportunity before the reunion for everyone to be in touch. Give Green. We just celebrated our second Giving Day in March, and we had a record giving of over $700,000. I think we're still tallying, but we're over 3,000 gifts. It was a really exciting day. We ask all of our reunion volunteers to be ambassadors for Giving Day. That's a great opportunity to speak to your classmates about making a participation gift before the end of the fiscal year. This is also the time of year of crawfish boils. Our Office of Alumni Relations does a wonderful job of helping clubs across the country host crawfish boils. So that's a fun way to see some Tulaneans in your area. If you're coming to New Orleans for the second weekend of Jazz Fest, the Office of Alumni Relations hosts a Jazz Fest brunch. It's going to be at Beatfield Alumni House the second Saturday, always the second Saturday of Jazz Fest. And that's a lot of fun because you'll see a lot of different faces since so many people come in from across the country for Jazz Fest. That's about it for quarter two. We'll get into the third quarter. So this is July, August, and September. Our registration comes live, so we have a big push to register. You, as reunion volunteers, have a lot of name recognition, and when you register and your names are on that registration list on the website, it helps to lend credibility to the reunion and get your classmates on board. I can't tell you how many times we've heard from people that they were really on the fence about coming to the reunion until they saw how many names they recognized on the registration, and they realized that it wouldn't be the type of situation where they walk in a room and don't know anybody. So registering early, getting your name on that list really helps to drive a successful reunion for you and your friends. We have pre-reunion events in cities across the country. So we'll do events in cities where we have a larger number of alumni. For example, perhaps Houston, New York, maybe DC, South Florida sometimes, Dallas. Depending on where we have volunteers who are interested in putting something together and enough alumni to make a successful event, we'll do a get-together this quarter, which is fun for folks who can't maybe make the reunion. And for those of you who are, it's a great way to get in touch beforehand. When our registration website comes live, you'll buy football tickets. I want to let you know that if you have attended a reunion in the past, we got a lot of feedback that the seating at one point a few years ago was in the visitor section in one end zone, and it was really not an ideal experience. So we've worked with athletics to open up a couple of sections in Westfelt Terrace for our reunion celebrants to sit together. It is a Tulane football game, so don't worry too much if you don't get a seat right next to your friends. Everyone is kind of milling around in that area. So really, most reunion people are in those 3 sections, and it works out quite nicely, we've found. And we've gotten a lot of positive feedback since we made that adjustment. We will have a big fundraising update this quarter. We hope that all of our reunion committee members would make their gift before reunion weekend so that we can recognize you on the donor boards. Our donor boards are just an alphabetical listing of everyone from the class who's given, but it's really nice to be able to show, to celebrate your commitment by having everyone in the committee on those donor boards already. That about sums it up for quarter 3. I'm going to move into quarter 4. So this is October, November, and December. Your reunion is finally here. So a big last push to your classmates to register. Make your reservations for dinners if you haven't already. It's a popular weekend. It's homecoming, it's parents' weekend, reunions, a lot of alumni come back who are not in reunion years. So the city will get busy. The sooner you make those dinner reservations, the better. Obviously, attend your reunion, reconnect with your friends, have a great time, enjoy visiting the old familiar sites on campus and kind of marveling at all the new development. There's a lot that's changed, but also a lot that stayed the same. And we hope you'll enjoy having this opportunity to peek into some buildings and see what's going on across campus. For you, a great opportunity to communicate to classmates who haven't yet given. If they've come to the reunion and hopefully become energized by what they saw, they might be motivated to make a gift if they haven't yet already. And then as we get to the end of the reunion cycle, there are ways to stay involved after your reunion. So you can absolutely, we are a great resource here. If you want to be more involved with the university, please talk to your class officer. Some things that are really popular that we would love for you to be involved with are the alumni interview program. This is a lot of fun. It's a great way to kind of get a feeling for who's looking at Tulane for prospective students. We have, as I'm sure you've heard, become a very hot university. Every year we have record number of applications. So this is a fun way to help out and to get a feeling for who's applying to Tulane these days. There's also National Networking Night every November, and this is one night when Tulaneans across the country network virtually or in person. So whether you are a seasoned veteran of your industry or just starting out, there's certainly someone to connect with. And of course, there are also boards and councils, and your reunion class officer could share a little bit more about those with you. That pretty much sums up the 4th quarter. Thank you so much for your time.
Hi, my name is Greg Bruce, and I'm a class officer working with the 10th and 20th reunions. I'm a graduate from the A.B. Freeman School of Business in 2016. We'd like to introduce some of the resources that we provide to you as reunion volunteers. The first is the Social Media Toolkit. Following along with the quarterly expectations and themes, the Social Media Toolkit is designed to help reunion volunteers use varying social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to build and maintain enthusiasm leading up to reunion weekend. The toolkit includes sample posts and language that is designed to supplement your own narratives throughout the year. Next, I'd like to talk a bit about screening lists. Your class officer is happy to provide screening lists to help you identify classmates. Screening lists are available for various student groups, fraternities, sororities, majors, or the entire class. We're also happy to provide them for certain geographical areas. For example, we've had volunteers that have asked to reach out to all of their classmates in a certain city. Screening lists can be created either in paper or Excel form. Once you've reviewed your list, it's helpful for you to return a copy to your class officer, including which alumni you'd like to contact, so we can get a sense of how much of the class is receiving a personal touch from a committee member. Another resource we're currently using with reunion classes ranging from young alumni all the way up to the 20th reunion is called Blackbaud Volunteer Network Fundraising. This program allows you to log in and access a list of your classmates digitally. It also allows you to create a portfolio of a type of those classmates that you'd like to contact while providing you with contact information as well as sample text messages and emails or other language. It also provides information on the class gift campaign, and we'll talk more about that later. Blackbaud Volunteer Network Fundraising is also available as a mobile app on the App Store. Another tool available to reunion celebrants is the Tulane University Travel Portal. This online service allows alumni to book and receive preferred rates at over 24 hotels across the city, and this is available year-round, not just for your reunion. The Reunion Giving Program is also on YouTube. Our channel, we have tutorials about using the Blackbaud Volunteer Network fundraising portal, as well as video instructions on how to make monthly and yearly pledges online. Finally, please remember that your class officer is also a resource. Employed full-time by the university, we're happy to assist you with anything from providing screening lists and contact information to helping you practice and prepare for classmate solicitations, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later.
My name is Jenna and I'm from Georgia. My major is neuroscience and I'm a public health minor. I decided to come to Tulane because I got a pretty big tuition scholarship, and then I came and visited the campus, fell in love with it. I really loved the emphasis on community service and research. So I wouldn't be able to come here if it wasn't for the scholarship funds, so that's definitely played a huge role in my time at Tulane. I also received some scholarship funding to help some out-of-class experiences. So I received scholarship funding to have this go on a trip to Sierra Leone, where I conducted field research for a project with a nonprofit organization. So I did research on mental health and disability in a group of Ebola survivors in a northern region of Sierra Leone called Kwinadugu District, and that has culminated in an honors thesis. I received a grant from Newcomb Tulane College called the Dean's Grant. I received a grant from the honors program called the Gene Danielson Memorial Scholarship, and I received a grant from the Taylor Center called the Changemaker Catalyst Award. So the funds impacted my trip by covering my travel. It covered my flights, it covered my housing, and it made the entire trip possible. I wouldn't have been able to go without it. So personally, I had a lot of growth in terms of learning skills such as flexibility and adapting to new cultural climates and things like that. Professionally, I was able to gain a lot of research skills. I learned how to do field work, I learned how to do qualitative and quantitative research, and I learned how to develop my own research project and implement it. So I donated in two areas. I donated to the School of Science and Engineering because I have gained a lot from the School of Science and Engineering in my time here. I have gained a lot through the Tulane Brain Institute and things such as labs and research. I also donated to the Scholarships Fund because I was able to come to Tulane through a scholarship, and I wanted someone else to have a similar experience to me. I would say thank you so much for making everything possible for me. I would say thank you for allowing me to experience such personal and professional growth beyond what I would have expected coming into Tulane.
Hi everyone, I'm Jake Madison. I graduated from the School of Liberal Arts in 2008. I recently just went through my 10th reunion, and I'm a class officer here with the team working with the 15th and 30th. So you just saw the video from Jenna Bates, one of our wonderful Tulane students here, and we wanted to play that for you all to give you a bit of perspective on the importance of fundraising when it comes to these class reunions. But before we get to some of that, I also want to talk a little bit about some of the reasons to be really prideful of Tulane. We all enjoyed our experience. You're all involved with your reunion now, and Tulane obviously resonates with you all. And as you reconnect with classmates and speak to others, having some talking points is never a bad thing. So you can see the Princeton Review rates Tulane pretty highly in a number of categories that are not surprising whatsoever. We rank up there with the happiest students that love their colleges the most, along with best quality of life. Being in New Orleans, no surprise to see Tulane ranking highly on any of those lists. Diversity has been a big emphasis for the Office of Admissions, as they say they like to make the student body look like the world around them. And now you can see that of the 7,200 plus full-time undergrads, we cover all 50 states and 55 foreign countries. In fact, the class of 2022 is the most competitive and diverse, along with the largest class in the history of the university. They've got an average converted SAT score of 1456 and an average ACT of 32. I make this joke, but I mean it, and I know a lot of people agree with me that if I were applying to Tulane right now, I wouldn't be getting in, and so you can see how far along the school has come. It currently also ranks in the top 5 applications per seat and has an acceptance rate of 17%. In short, it's a really popular school right now. And one of the reasons for this is something to be really proud of, and Jenna Bates touched on this in the video that you just watched. And that's the amount of hours that the Tulane community completes of community service, over 450,000 each year. After Katrina, the university put in the service learning component and requirement in order to graduate, meaning that students needed to go out into the community and take 2 classes that involve that, whether that's teaching at underprivileged kids, working with students for after school programs, or what have you. That's a requirement in order to graduate. It's a unique thing to Tulane and to New Orleans here, and was instituted to help the city recover after Katrina. They've kept it, and it's become very popular. It attracts a very socially minded type of student, and it's one of the big reasons that Tulane has become as popular and as hot of a school as it is. So the importance of fundraising. As Suzanne said in the beginning, the Reunions program significantly contributes to Tulane's annual fund. The annual fund is the way to make the most immediate impact to the university, where certain endowed funds are either very restricted and aren't always able to give out the money or the scholarship that they promote, or take a number of years to build up till they're able to provide that sort of benefit. The annual fund is something that the university can tap into right away, whether that's at the dean's discretion for a faculty position or a new program, or to cover scholarships for students who are looking to attend. One of the things we've seen is Tulane's expensive, and the difference between attending and not attending for most students is an average of $4,000. So $4,000 to the annual fund means someone should be able to attend that wouldn't be able to attend otherwise. There's an annual fund for almost every school and unit at Tulane University, whether you're passionate about liberal arts or the business school, or maybe you want to support athletics and our student athletes. There's an annual fund for that, as well as for the undergrad experience and just general university support. And we've set it up this way so that everyone can give where their passions are and what's most meaningful for them. Last year, the Reunions program brought in over $3 million in unrestricted giving to Tulane's various annual funds. That's the equivalent of a drawdown of a $60 million endowment. That's the collective impact that the university gets from the Reunions program, something that you're now a part of. So everyone's capacity is different, and that's why there's no minimum donation requirements to be on a reunion committee, but we look for 3 things. You'll see coming up in a moment here that Tulane lags behind its peer and aspirant schools in terms of undergraduate giving. That's something that does factor into the various rankings, World, US, and News, Princeton Review, and help it and can impact where Tulane falls in that. So for those that aren't engaged philanthropically with Tulane, we hope that in a reunion year, they realize the importance that Tulane's played in their lives and just make a one-time donation. Start that philanthropic engagement with Tulane. We've also seen that people aren't consistent. Maybe they give every other year or on occasion, but not every single year, which can help Tulane in that percentage and with those rankings as well. And we've developed a way to kind of overcome this a little bit, and that's to help people become consistent donors through a pledge. Many of your classmates sign up for a 5-year pledge, say they'll do something like $1,000 a year every year for 5 years, and that makes them a consistent donor by signing up for that. We can set that up to be done yearly, monthly, on whatever schedule people would like, and make it as easy as possible for them. We also give people credit for the entirety of the pledge up front, and that's for the class gift purposes and for recognition purposes. So in the example before there, that person would be recognized in the donor honor roll that's sent out at the end of every reunion cycle for a total of $5,000, and that $5,000 would count towards the class's gift in honor of their reunion. And for our most consistent donors, we hope that in these milestone years, reunions only come around once every 5 years, you increase your giving a little bit during that time, even if it's just for that year, and make an even greater impact in honor of your reunion. So here you can see Tulane isn't where we'd like it to be in terms of overall undergraduate alumni giving percentages, coming in at just 17%. We know that Tulane students and alumni enjoyed their time at the university, but it's not translating to the giving back part. And we hope that that's what the reunions program can inspire. And when we look at the 17%, it might seem a little discouraging, but there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic about this. One, Tulane has put a renewed emphasis on the reunions program and just engaging our alumni in general. And when you look at all we've been able to accomplish with just this number here and lagging behind a number of other schools that we'd like to compare ourselves to, we only have room to go up, and even an increase of 1, 2, 3% can make a significant increase and difference at the university on what we're all able to do. Everybody's capacity to donate is different, and no matter how big or small, your donation makes an impact at Tulane University, and I wanted to highlight some of the concrete things that the funds are used for. So Tulane gives out $136 million in scholarships every year, and $13 million comes from donors like yourself and your classmates. When 5 people each donate $1,000, that's $5,000 to upgrade a lab with the newest technology. Or if everyone donates $500, that could be used to launch a new wellness initiative at Tulane. And take a look at the gifts under section we have here. Gifts totaling under $500 came to over $1.1 million. That is a ton of support from people giving what they can, and it makes a huge difference when everyone comes together. So no matter what amount you're able to give, you're making a positive impact at Tulane University. So getting a lot of your classmates to contribute to the class gift is obviously very important for Tulane University. And the way we found that to be most effective is through peer-to-peer. And that's why we ask committee members, if they're comfortable, to solicit their classmates to contribute to the class gift. Yes, asking people for money is unfun and it can be an awkward conversation, but it's not nearly as bad as you might think. So we've put together a video that we'll play here in a moment that shows you kind of a mock solicitation about how just easy and casual that conversation can be to ask others to contribute to the class gift. This is, of course, an optional part of being on the reunion committee, but it can be very effective and it can make a big difference. And this video was put together with feedback directly from previous reunion volunteers and the pain points they encountered when they solicited their classmates to contribute to the class gift. Oh, hey, Lindsay, what's up?
Hey, I'm so glad we connect. Is now still a good time to talk?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. So I'm so excited about our reunion coming up in the fall. Have you had a chance to book your travel?
I am. I've got my hotel. I've got the airfare set. I'm excited to see everyone. I haven't been back to New Orleans in a couple of years, so I cannot wait.
Awesome. So as you know, I'm a volunteer for the reunion, and a part of that is that I've been working with our classmates to fundraise for Tulane in honor of our upcoming reunion. Do you have a little bit of time to talk about what that could look like for you?
Yeah, I've heard a couple people mention it. Is that something we really need to donate to or to be a part of? I thought this was more just coming back to New Orleans and having fun.
It is, and we're trying to make sure that we get 200 of our classmates to give in honor of the reunion. So I'm working with the other committee members to really energize the class and remembering what's impactful about Tulane and then giving back to that area. So when you think about actually, making that difference on campus, what area are you most passionate about?
I guess I had a scholarship, so I know many of my friends did too, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to attend, so maybe giving back to that area would be a good fit.
Scholarships is an area you can make a donation to. It's really popular with our classmates because a lot of us receive scholarships. Some other people are giving to athletics, some other folks are giving to the school they graduated from, so there's lots of options, but scholarships is a great choice. And when you think about making that impact with the scholarship funds that we have on campus, some people like to give quarterly, other people like to give annually, some people like to do monthly. Where do you feel like giving would be most convenient for you in terms of frequency?
If they can do it where it just comes out automatically every month, that would be easiest. Just don't need to even worry about it then. Yeah, so what's everyone donating for this kind of thing?
So what's really popular with our class is that a lot of folks are entering into a 5-year pledge. It's a way to maximize our reunion giving because the total amount of the 5-year pledge will be contributed to the class gift that we're giving back in honor of the reunion.
That's what everyone's doing. I'm happy to go along with that. And just how do we get it all set up and taken care of?
Great. Well, I'll send over that pledge form that I referenced. You can fill it out and email it back to me so that we can get it processed. And I'm just really grateful for you taking the time out today to talk to me about Tulane, the reunion, and how we can make an impact with our class giving.
It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to see everybody. Really looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, I'm so excited to see you back on campus in the fall. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. I so appreciate your time.
So again, that video was done with direct feedback from reunion volunteers in years past, giving you kind of an idealized version of what a solicitation conversation might go. But we found that when people do solicitate their classmates, their friends, it does come across as much more natural and just really encouraging people to do what you're doing and what your friends and other classmates are doing as well. People usually don't want to be left out, and it's a way to leverage that into getting your classmates to participate in the class gift. So when watching that video, think about what went well, what you might do differently, or how you might put some of the phrasing in your own words, or what some of the objections that you might get that we didn't touch in that video. And of course, you're welcome to reach out to your class officer to ask for clarification or any help on this either. We are a resource for you and happy to help make solicitations with you if need be. But the common ones you're going to get are, is this something we need to do? And to answer that, you don't need to be forceful. Just simply say you're participating, other classmates and friends are participating, and ask that they go along with you and participate as well. One of the other big objections or questions you'll get is, what's the amount that everyone's doing? And of course, it's different for everybody, but if you feel comfortable letting them know how much you're donating, tell them. Maybe that's the amount that makes sense to them or gets them thinking about what their contribution to the class gift could be. So before we wrap up, we've got two more quick videos for you. One from a donor, Marina Gregorio, who feels very passionately about giving back to Tulane, and another one from Evan Nicole, a past reunion volunteer, who brought so much excitement to the role.
I'm Marina Gregorio. I live here in New Orleans and graduated from Tulane in civil engineering. My husband also went to Tulane, and we have always given money to Tulane every year for more than 30 years. Because the school was good for both of us, it helped us with our careers and leadership opportunities and some lifelong friends. So we wanted other people to have that same opportunity. With the skyrocketing college costs, we know how hard it is for students and families to come to a school like Tulane. In fact, one of Tony's family members is a freshman here. She is on full scholarship and never would have been able to come to Tulane if she hadn't gotten a full scholarship. And she is smart and interested in learning and fun to be around and just the kind of student that Tulane needs. And so when we made our 5-year pledge this past year during our reunion, we decided to dedicate the money to the scholarship fund. Give your money to Tulane. They make good use of it. The school is just as good as it was when we were all here, probably better. I don't know if we could get in. And beautiful buildings, nice facilities, and continually improving what they're teaching the kids.
My name is Evan Nicole, and I was a class co-chair for the class of 2012. It was our 5th reunion. So Tulane has given so much to me personally, and I felt like this was my opportunity to give back to my alma mater. I know that I wouldn't be the person that I am today without my Tulane education and my network of friends that I made both when I was in school and out of school, and so this was really my chance to be there for Tulane. I think being a reunion volunteer meant that in some cases you were kind of an ambassador for the school. So you were there to really relay any information that your class officer gave to you to give to your classmates. And so you're really there to kind of help keep your friends up to date on all the goings on for the reunion, both the class party, any events that are going on throughout the year. And so, yeah, you're kind of the liaison. I think being a part of the committee is not all that different, at least for me, when I was in student government. You are, or any other student organization like Cactus, TUCP, or Crawfest. You're there to represent sort of the wants, needs, and ideas of your constituents. And it's kind of the same thing being a reunion volunteer. You're there, you're getting feedback and insight from your classmates, and then you're relaying that to Tulane, to your class officer. It could be everything from where they want their class party to be. It could be anything about the reunion weekend itself, or just events that you might want to have in a city like New York or San Francisco. So I think being a volunteer is, again, you're kind of that liaison. You're kind of that go-between between your classmates and to your class officer. Yeah, I think reunion weekend, for sure, the class party was a blast. It was great because at one point when our reunion party had ended, we had our after party at F&M's. Well, it just so happened that it coincided with another reunion year's class party. And so, as you can imagine, at a place like F&M's with cheese fries and everything else in between, that the dance parties on the pool table and other shenanigans ensued. So we may or may not have had a dance off on the pool table with another reunion year. Obviously the class of 2012 won the dance off. Yeah, I would say that Facebook is your friend and other social media. I think that you also should really make sure to leverage your class officer. Your class officer is there to make your reunion experience a fun, enjoyable, seamless one. So if you need to pull a class list from everyone from your pledge class and your fraternity or sorority, or if you would like to pull names and contact information from everyone from your student organization that you may have been a part of, they can do that. And so I would also leverage them if you want some help crafting a message to some of your classmates. They can do that too. So again, they're there to make your experience easy. You're there to help open up your network and really help to try and bring everyone back to campus to kind of celebrate this important milestone. Yeah, I would say really try and bring as much passion as you can into this. Again, you're kind of the liaison, or you're kind of this ambassador to your friends, and you're trying to generate and drum up as much excitement about the reunion as you can, and try and ultimately to get everyone to come back to the reunion, to make a gift for the class gift. And so you have to bring a lot of energy and a lot of excitement into it. And so I think don't forget to do that. And also don't be discouraged when you're reaching out to your classmates, and if you call and if you maybe not get the response that you wanted to get, or if you're not able to get in touch with someone, keep trying, going after it. And again, just remember that this is for Tulane. Your reunion comes once every 5 years. And so to be able to sort of set aside and carve out time that you're going to do something special for Tulane in honor of your reunion and get involved, I think that's a wonderful thing to do. And so bring some fun, bring some energy, bring some passion into it.
Thanks so much for tuning in. We hope that this has been helpful to you. Please remember that the class officers are always here to help you with all things reunion. If you have any questions or this sparked any ideas, please reach out. We hope to hear from you. Thanks so much.